Good morning, students. So again we have to discuss the chapter 2 of economics, people as resource, grade 9th. So now we have to discuss again from page 20 only, that is the topic quality of population. Now in this we have to see what steps the government of India undertook in order to improve the quality of population with regard to education and health. So let's see the education part. Students see the quality of population depends upon the literacy rate, the health of the person, and the health of the person is indicated by the life expectancy. Life expectancy here means the average time person is expected to live. And the literacy rate means it measures the proportion of literate population in 7 years and above age group. So this is the literacy rate. So if you want to know the quality of population of any country, that what kind of population is there in the country, you can just go through the literacy rate of that country. Okay, you should go through the life expectancy rates of that country, and you will come to know the quality of population. And the most important another factor is the skill formation acquired by the population of the country. So the quality of population depends upon these parameters of any country: literacy rate, life expectancy, and what is the skill formation of the people who are living in the country. So literacy rate, health and skills determine the quality of a population, and the quality of population ultimately decides the growth rate of the country. What will be the growth rate, what will be the GDP, all this is being determined by the quality of population. Illiterate and unhealthy population can be a liability for the economy. Literate and healthy population can be made into an asset for the country. Literate and healthy population will contribute towards the GDP of the country. So education part, now if we discuss the education part, so education is an important input for the growth of any individual, and this we have seen in the case of Sakal also. Education opened the new doors for Sakal. We have seen that Sakal was educated and he got the job. His standard of living improved. Now he is able to take care of his parents also. But in case of Vilas, we have seen he was not educated, and again he was facing the same problem, the same vicious circle of poverty he was living in. But the Sakal, he induced the virtuous circle, okay, good circle he induced, and now he is educated, and now he will educate his children also. So education is the most important input for growth of any individual, and this we have seen earlier through this case studies also. Now moving to page 21, the same topic, education we are discussing. So education also, students, helps in enriching the culture of a society. The presence of the educated person in the society indirectly will benefit the illiterate persons as well. Okay, so if the community, if the society is educated, they will help the others also. The downtrodden section of the society, they will help also them to get education, okay, and uplift themselves also. And government has also taken the various steps to spread among the people this the education, and government strives to provide universal access to education. So various policies are being launched by the government of India in order to provide universal access to the rural people, to the rural children, to the poor people. And it also makes various plans to increase the retention of students, and special emphasis is given on the girls' education. Okay, many campaigns the government of India used to launch in order to protect the girl child, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. So many campaigns our government of India has already introduced in order to save the girl child and to educate the girl child. So after this, now the literacy rate, students, here on the same page, that is page 21 of your NCERT book, here the graph 2.1 shows the literacy rates in India. Okay, so if you see this graph very carefully, you will come to know that the blue color is for the overall ratio, and red color is for the male literacy rate, and green is for the female literacy rate. So it is clearly evident through graph, it is clearly evident that male's literacy rate is always more than the female literacy rate. If you see the year 1951 also, the male literacy rate here 28% was 28%, and female literacy was 9%. And if you see the year 2011, again the male literacy rate was above 80% and female was above 60%. So you can clearly see the difference that males are dominating if we talk about the literacy rate. So this is because of our male dominated society, the preference is always given to the male child. Even if resources are limited of the family, always the preference is given to the boys. Then what initiatives the government of India is taking in order to tackle this situation, in order to provide universal access to the education? So the first step towards this Navodaya Vidyalayas, okay, government started setting up the Navodaya Vidyalayas, and the first Navodaya Vidyalaya was being set up in the 1985. So the Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalayas are a system of the schools for the gifted students in the India. They are being run by the Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti, New Delhi, under the Ministry of Human Resource and Development, Government of India. And this Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, they are fully residential and co-educational schools. It is affiliated to the CBSE New Delhi, and it starts from the classes 6th onwards till +2. And this Navodaya Vidyalayas, they are tasked with finding the talented children in the rural areas of the India and providing them with good quality education. So that the rural children, those who don't have any access, they live in the remote areas, so as to provide them opportunity of the education. So these schools are being set up as a residential schools, and these Navodaya Vidyalayas, they exist all over the India, and there are approximately 598 Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalayas across the India, means according to the estimates 1 school per district. So this is the initiative started by the government of India. Then we have to see the budgetary estimates. What estimates, what plan outlays, what kind of investment our government is doing. So the plan outlay on the education, the first plan, that is 1951, the first plan, the first 5-year plan, year 1951 to 1956. So this was our first 5-year plan after independence. So at that time our spending, our plan outlay on the education was rupees 151 crores. So this much we planned, and now it has increased in the, if you see in the 10th plan it has increased, and in the 11th plan also it has increased. Like the statistics given, it might be different in different books according to the editions. So in 11th year it has increased to 3,766.90 crores. So this much investment we have now doing in our education, and the expenditure on education was 0.64% of GDP. So GDP is our gross domestic product, whatever we are producing, okay, our national income. So whatever we are producing, we are spending out of that 0.64 on education. So this is very less. In 51 we started and we spent this much, but now it has increased 3.98% we are spending of our GDP on education in 2002 and 2003. So this was about the budgetary estimates, that what we are spending, okay. And then due to the constant efforts of the government, the literacy rate has grown from, you have seen in the graph, 18% in 1951, overall 18%, and to more than 70% in 2011. So due to these policies, due to these campaigns, this literacy rate has moved, okay, shifted from 18 to 70%. So now page 22. So we were talking about the literacy rate, that due to the constant efforts of the government, literacy rate has grown from 18% to 70%. And if we see students, if we talk about the literacy rate in different states, then in 2011 literacy rates in Kerala 94% and 62 in Bihar, okay. So this was the statistics if we talk about the literacy rate in different states. And other thing also which I would like to highlight here is the primary schools. Okay, the primary school system has expanded to over 8.58 lakhs. So I was talking about the outcomes of the government policies, students, that whatever efforts the government has done. Now, what are the outcomes of that policies? So I told you the literacy rate has improved from 18% in 1951 to more than 70% in 2011, and the primary school system has expanded to over 8.58 lakhs. So these many schools we have opened, but many challenges still are there. There is a vast differences in the literacy rate, which is noticed across the different section of the population and in different states also. As I told you that above 90% literacy rate is there in the Kerala, and in Bihar it is just 60 to 62%. So there is a wide variation if we see the literacy rate. And then another challenge, the huge expansion of schools has been diluted by the poor quality of schooling and high dropout rates. So the another challenge in front of government is high dropout rates. It is very difficult to retain the children in the school. They leave the school. Why? Because they are poor. Due to the poverty, they leave the schools. They indulge in other labor activities, child labor. They do these kind of things in order to supplement the income of their family because they are poor. So it is very difficult for them to survive without money. In order to earn money, they leave their schools. So this is the issue, this is a challenge in front of the government. And again, the poor quality of schooling, the teacher, the staffs is not capable and competent. So these are the challenges which the government is facing. And now the next, on page 22 only, the next now the program which we have to discuss is Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan. So a significant step towards providing elementary education to all the children in the age group of 6 to 14 years by 2010. So this program, the government program under the tagline Sab Padhe Sab Bade, was started in 2001. So on the walls of the government school easily you can see these program, the paintings of this program is being done with the tagline Sab Padhe Sab Bade. And the present goals of 2015 Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, to open new schools in the area which do not have them. So to go to that areas where there are no schools, and to expand the existing school infrastructure, and whatever existing schools are there, to provide them more and more infrastructure, okay, according to the needs of the hour, according to the latest scenario, to equip them with the computer labs and all these gadgets and another infrastructure facilities. And then address the inadequate teacher numbers, okay, if the staff is less, then to recruit more staff and provide training for the development of the existing staff. So whatever existing teachers are there, to organize the workshops and to provide them training so that they can sharpen their skills more, and to provide quality elementary education including life skills with the special focus on the education of the girls. So more emphasis on the girl child with special needs as well as computer education. Okay, so these are the areas on which government is providing the infrastructure, and this is the need of the hour also. So this was the Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan. I have told you about this, and I have told you the year also in which this Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan was started. So Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan started in 2001 to strengthen the primary school system. Okay, this scheme of Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan was started in 2001, and all the children of 6 to 14 years were expected to complete 8 years of schooling by 2010. So this was the target of the government. So it began as a time-bound initiative, okay, that within this time of 10 years we will complete this target. And this is started by the central government in partnership with the state and the local government, and the communities were also involved so as to achieve the goal of universalization of the elementary education, that is free and compulsory education to all within the age group of 6 to 14 years. So this was the target of the government, that we have to achieve this thing within the 2010. And this program has covered the entire country. So throughout the country they have launched this program, and the special emphasis was given on the girl child, on the girls and students of scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, and along with it bridge courses were also introduced. Bridge courses means if any gap is there, if the child has left the school for 2-3 years, so this some kind of course as a bridge course will be there, so that child can go for that course for the 1 year and then again join the formal schooling from the next year. So this kind of emphasis on this kind of courses was been done. Back to school camps been started to increase the enrollment, that is the registration in the elementary education. Midday meal schemes has been implemented, so this has been started in 1995. Government started the midday meal schemes so as to encourage the attendance and the retention of the children and to improve their nutritional status also. So government provides midday meal in the government school so that the children of the poor people, they can just come and attend the school, and to encourage the attention and retention of the children, to improve their nutritional status, and aims at so the aim of the government is just to increase the literacy rate ratio, or the literacy rate, just to improve the literacy rate. The government is introducing all these schemes. Midday meal has helped many children from the poor families to attend the school. So this was regarding the midday meal, and now the 12th plan. Okay, the 12th plan is there. Now we have to discuss the 12th plan also, and the year of the 12th plan 2012 and 2017. So this endeavor to raise the country's gross enrollment ratio. Okay, so in the 12th plan, emphasis was given on the age group of 18 to 23 years of this group, higher education now, and the emphasis is to improve this gross enrollment ratio, that is the ratio of the population in the age group of 18 to 23 years of age to the number of the people enrolled in the higher education. So this ratio now the government has to lay stress on so as to improve this ratio. And in the higher education in the age group of 18 to 23 years, this ratio in 2017 and 18 was 25.2%, and by to increase this ratio in 2021 to 30%. So this was the target which was laid down by the government, that to increase the ratio from 25.2% to 30%. And the strategy focuses on increasing access, quality and adoption of the state specific curriculum. Means according to the needs of that particular state, the curriculum should be designed. Modification should be done according to that only. And vocationalization means professional approach should be there. It should be included in the school curriculum only. Some additional subjects, it is a responsibility of the school to introduce some additional subjects like computers and all these subjects, so as to give vocational training to the children from the early stages of their education only, so that they can take these courses later on and they can opt for this profession. And the plan also focuses on the distance education also for the children who can't attend the regular classes. For them, correspondence courses should be available, distance courses should be available, course material should be available. And then IT education institution should be set up more and more, because now more thrust is on the IT, as it is a rising and emerging industry. And there has been a significant growth in the number of university and other institution of higher education for higher learning in the specialized area. So this was all about the 12th plan. So we discussed about the Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan of the government, then we discussed the Navodaya Vidyalayas, then we discussed the budgetary estimates, and then midday meal schemes, and then the focus of the 12th plan is on the higher education.